Welcome, everyone, to episode 280 of Just Joshing. I'm your host, Joshua Pentalaresco. I write stuff in podcast 2. I conclude my conversation with Tim Niederriter. We get more into adversity. We talk a little bit more about my apartment that I probably should have admitted on the air, but that's okay. We talk about book stuff finally, and we talk about Tim's newest release as well. Like I said, I kind of still feel a little guilty. I feel like the interruption kind of derailed the conversation. But so Tim, anytime you want, if you need to promote something, give me a shout. I feel I owe you one. But Tim's a great guy, great dude. He has his own podcast as well. I always love having him on the show. Few things. I got my first review for the Cloud Diver. I've been saying Cloud Diver out to a few people in advance, just kind of get a feel what the audience is going to be. So far, one of my characters is 3 for 3 with the female readership, which I think is awesome. But I got a really nice review today, a really nice sentiment. It looks like the Cloud Diver will be available this November. I'm really happy about that. This novel has been a work of love, a work of art. I haven't quite figured out all the knobs and whistles of the launch and release, but that's going to happen. But also, this month is giveaways. This week, I got announced that Kim Griffato, I hope I didn't screw that up too bad, and Bob Brooks have won copies of Wicked Initiations. Kaylee Cassidy has won a copy of Bayer Lee's band, The Unquiet Shadow. I'm going to be putting on Dreamstalker again, so that'll be right up next. But put your name on the mailing list, guys. I will give away cool stuff to you as a result. Next week, ebooks will return. Adam Dries is returning to the show, so The Wizard Killer Volume 1 will be a giveaway next week. Not to mention the book and the CD as well, plus a video game. I'm just waiting for it to be released from Giant Bearded Games. All right, let's get to Dreamstalker, shall we?
The landscape in my brain has of despair and screams of pain. Shattered red and drowned of bone, as blood is red from every stone. Broken corpses and set of flesh, shattered bones and organs flesh. Nightmares from the depth of soul, forced to be a grim hellhole. Break it down, the torment from life. Darkness inside, burn of pain and strife. Devils consuming, the thumb hangs on high. Devoured by sin, a cruel way to die. My mind clouds the fog descends. Is this how it always ends? The signs are there, the lights will fade. Dreamstalker, worse than any blade. What's the burning of the sleeper's mind? Body breaking, soul in agony. Leaving shadow, death is drawing near. Does the big sweet life away? Break it down, the torment of life. Darkness inside, burn of pain and strife. Devils consuming, the thumb hangs on high. Devoured by sin, a cruel way to die. My mind clouds, the fog descends. Is this how it always ends? The signs are there, the lights will fade. Dreamstalker, worse than any blade. Dreamstalker, 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 Dream. Dream Stalker! Dream Stalker! My mind clouds the fog descends. Is this how it always ends? The signs are there, the lights will fade. Dream Stalker, worse than any blade. My mind clouds the fog descends. Is this how it always ends? The signs are there, the lights will fade. Dream Stalker, worse than any blade.
Just Joshing is sponsored by Indie Imprint. Indie Imprint brings your creations to life. They believe in indies helping indies, and they have been known to contribute to everything from game jams to NaNoWriMo and everything in between. As a creator, you just bring your work to them, whether you're a writer, musician, or video game designer, or whatever the case may be, and they will help you format, proof, and distribute your project to a variety of different avenues. For more information, check them out at info@indieimprint.com. And by Jennifer Ron, author. Jennifer is re-releasing her fantasy series Legend of Tenlock with her first book, Wicked Initiations, coming out when words collide. She's also been released a Dark Quarter, courtesy of Bundarin Press. You can contact her at longitivitythesis.ca. That is worldwideweb.longitivitythesis.ca. It takes guts. You don't have the luxury of what's the term? You don't have the luxury of holding back if you want it to be the best you can possibly be. You have to put something of you in there, whether it's like the Cloud Diary, the book that's just about ready to go. It's about getting out of your comfort zone, right? That's what it's about, right? And that's the thing, right? I'm very that's that, and with everything going on in my life, that's very appropriate, I think. The next book, the book with the trans themes, it's ultimately there's a lot of things it's about that perfect image, how you look at yourself in the mirror, right? Like physically, not
exactly, yeah.
Yeah,
I see where you're going.
Yeah, it's about that. Like that, there are definitely like our vanities, our flaws, and how we look at all the things, how we look at ourselves. Our own mortality. That's in my young adult novel I'm working on right now. That's a big theme of it, is our own mortality. Because of the adversity I've faced in the past, I understand that maybe at a younger age than most people do, and so it gives you a certain when you come face to face with your own mortality, it gives you a very clear perspective of your life. It really does, and it changes you because you understand. At that moment, you understand one day you are not going to be here anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you have that, again, it gives you a power too, because you just realize, you know what, this is all I got. Got to make the most of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a hard time even thinking what to say after that. That's so true, though.
Well, again, look at your own adversities in life, like what you face. Like you've overcome stuff too, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I grew up. I was diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder. I was diagnosed with ADHD. I just have a laundry list of weird mental problems I've dealt with for a long while. I mean, I say problems, but they're just the challenges, right? The different things that they're not typical. And then there's countless things I could call little challenges I've dealt with. I guess it's just when you bring up mortality, that's kind of that's a big one for me.
Well,
It was tough for me for a long time to accept that fact, right?
I had no choice.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
I had no choice. Yeah, I had no choice. I had to. It was very clear the way I was going. I had to make a very interesting choice. I had to choose whether I was going to go left or right. And if I was going to go left, I wasn't going to come back. If I was going to go right, it was going to be a long time to recover from what I'd been through. But I took something out of it that, again, very few people have. Not much scares me. Like honestly, and that's not always a good thing either, right? But it's just like, you know what you're made of.
You're reckless.
It can be. You can be. You have to be very careful. There's a part of you. There's a part of you that it's easy to tempt fate. You know what I mean? It's easy to really tempt fate. That isn't the you're bulletproof in this sense. You know what adversity feels like at its core. And right? You don't run from it anymore. And like, it's this or this. Okay. It's this or this. Okay. So things that would bother a lot of people don't bother me, because it's just like, I've literally had $20 to figure out how I was going to get groceries for a week.
Ooh. Yeah.
So I've had that. I've been I've had to walk like miles. I'd have to like forgo sleep. I'd have to forgo eating comfortably just to go to work. There is definitely there's been points in my life where it just has not been easy at all. It's how you deal with the adversity in front of you. It's how you face. It's not about winning. I think that's the other thing a lot of people don't really understand. It's not about winning. You're gonna lose in the end. Inevitability catches up to us all. But that's not what it's about. It's about who are you in that moment? Will you stand or will you fall? Right? If you're willing to stand, right? If you're willing to stand to what's in front of you and face what's in front of you, and just come what may, and at peace with whatever the result is, you can't really lose. Right? That's what I learned. So.
And you'll be better for it. You know, even if you don't survive sometimes.
Absolutely. Oh no.
I mean, in those rare circumstances where your life actually is directly on the line. Hopefully rare, we'll say.
Yeah. No. Fortunately for me,
being able to stand makes you stronger in the first place. You know.
Well, yeah. Well, you just realize you have no choice. I mean, that's it. You just realize you have no choice.
But there are people who will take the opportunity to not because they have a choice to avoid the problem, but they will try to avoid it, and to their detriment, probably.
Oh, yeah, always.
I'm not saying that that's exactly. I'm not saying that that's obviously that's not a good thing. I'd say that's generally, but sometimes it may even be what they need to do at that moment.
Oh no, absolutely. You know, there is something to be said about facing your problems when you're ready to face them. And
yes.
That's a fine line. There's a very fine line with that. I'm not feeling it today. Okay, you don't need to face it today.
Yeah.
But tomorrow you might have to, right? And you have to be like something I listened to on Rogan's podcast the other day. It takes confidence to sit still. It does. It totally does.
Yeah.
Right. But there's a fine line with that. Like, you know you're good. Like, to know you're good at sitting still for one day. Everybody can do that, and we need that sometimes. But there's sitting still, and then there's, okay, I'm a lazy fuck. No, it's a really easy trap to fall into, because everything we do is predicated on momentum.
Yeah.
Right.
And inertia will get you.
Absolutely.
Too much.
Absolutely.
For too long.
Yeah. Exactly. There's a real fine line with all of this stuff. Like, taking a break for one day, most of us can afford that, and then maybe it's even necessary. You know, taking a break for the rest of it. You know, like literally, you have to be honest with yourself, and that's really accountability for yourself. We all struggle with that a little bit, I think, me included. Like, hey, let's be honest, I'm a bachelor. There are some things about my apartment I should take better care of more often. If I'm being very honest. That all said, I'm looking at my apartment. It's not that bad. Probably I literally could go up to it probably if I wanted to in like 3 hours and go, okay, check it out. It's not bad at all. It's not bad at all. I'm just overdue for cleaning the bathroom, and that's what.
Isn't everybody? That's the part no one wants to do.
No, well, it's actually. So here's the thing. Oh, here's the other part. My bathroom isn't actually linked to my apartment. It's in like a separate room outside. So
okay.
yeah. So it makes it harder in some way. Because again, I come home. I'm like you. I rather work. I'm writing something, or I'm doing a podcast, or sometimes I'm just goofing off. I mean, like yesterday I goofed off because I thought, you know what, one day should be for me. Right?
Yeah.
Today is about my novel. Today was going to be about my novel, but for whatever reason, every time I go to finish the novel, the universe says, "Hey, you got this problem to deal with." Okay. But even so, I'm still going to work on that novel tonight. I'm still going to work on that podcast tonight because that's what I'm doing. Right?
Yeah.
But I mean, that's me, and I'm looking at it kind of like, you know. That's the one thing I should do better. But if I'm looking at the rest of my house, it actually looks pretty good, all things considered. It's organized. If nothing else, it's organized. It's cluttered, but it's organized. And that's really all you can ask for.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
I would say, I mean, your apartment probably looks better than this place.
I don't know about that,
My
right?
room.
I don't know about that. It's just it's small, so I have to make do, and I do have too much stuff for this place. I just do, and I'm just being very honest. I didn't expect.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah,
it happens.
I didn't expect this podcast to be so talkative about my current situation. I'm sorry.
Neither did I, but it's okay. We roll with it.
Yeah, the interruption brought us to this point, so it's all good. I just no, like I said. So what else has been going on? Like, you've been releasing stuff regularly, anyway.
Well, not that regularly. I released last year I released like 9 novellas. Well, 7 novellas, 2 novels, but yeah, whatever. In the last two in the last half of the year, and then this year I've just released 3 books so far. And I did I re-released a couple other books, but it's actually been kind of difficult following up that stuff because I still haven't achieved the kind of success I really want with my fiction. Yeah. And I'm still writing, but it's harder for me to actually finish a book now. And decide to release it because I'm trying really hard to make sure next time it's going to be different. Next time I'll actually get some financial. That's my personal goal. Not everybody needs that, but if you're releasing the books if you're trying to do what I'm trying to do, which is make a living as a writer, you need to make money at some point.
No. I get you. Are you doing conventions or anything like that?
Not really. No, I'm mostly focusing on the internet, the online marketing.
Okay.
I'm not the most mobile person. I can't get to a lot of conventions.
Okay. How about conference? Okay, so
I did go to some conventions. That's why I took my hiatus. I went to 2 conventions this past month, basically.
What'd you do?
Balticon, which is in Baltimore, Maryland. That's a science fiction and fantasy convention.
Okay.
A lot of podcasters. So that was really cool. Mostly I just wanted to go there forever. I did give some books away when I went. Some of mine.
Okay.
But then I went to 4th Street Fantasy, which is in the Twin Cities area in Minnesota, which is near where I live.
Okay.
And that's my local home con. So I go there every year.
Okay, no, which is totally cool. So, all right, well, would you like a suggestion? I know I can't really talk about book success a ton, but I can talk
sure,
about it.
Suggestion.
Yeah. Do some book launches, like physical book launches.
Oh boy!
No, and I'm gonna make a suggestion. This is my suggestion to you: libraries.
Okay.
Yeah, because here's the thing, right? This is the reality of today. Yeah, see, so everybody gets caught in the 20 books to 50K thing, which is
yeah.
If you sit there and think about it, it's kind of insane. Kind of, because
you can be.
Yeah. Well, no.
People insane too. Some people are cut out for it though.
No. And you know what? Kudos to them. I'm not going to say it doesn't work, because it does. But okay, so here's kind of the thing. So as a writer, you have two choices, really. I think you have the choice of doing the best books you possibly can, right? Or you're doing the as many books as you possibly can. There's a quality quantity thing. How many people buy your book? Like, you don't have to give me that exact number, okay? But I'm sure people do buy your stuff. How many? Right. And how many of those people? So your particular niche, because we talked about your books. We've talked about your books in previous podcasts. You have a particular niche. So how much do you reach out to that particular niche? What do you do specifically for that niche?
See, there's my issue. I don't do a whole lot of that right now.
And
I don't reach out to people very well. That's kind of my challenge.
Yeah, and we don't live in a world today where you can just write the book, and it does happen to some authors. It's like winning the lottery.
It's a very rare.
Yeah, it's like winning the lottery. Okay, it's really like winning the lottery.
That's right.
Right. It kind of is.
I'm doing a lot of free through ebooks. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just to build a list, get more audience on, more eyes on.
Mm-hmm. One of the reasons I do giveaways for the podcast now is it does build up my mailing list, but I'm not planning on selling it or anything like that. So it gives me an idea who my listeners are. It also gives me an idea of who in particular is paying attention to what I'm doing.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. And that's what the goal is, so I can see who's doing what when every day. So where I'm at now is I'm at that point now where it's like, okay, I figured out how to start generating income for the podcast. Not a lot, but again, it's grocery money now, that's cool. It's actually regular grocery money. So that's fantastic. Number one. So okay, now I want to take that to the next level. So what can I do there? Well, I'm marketing my giveaways, because other people are now posting stuff about giveaways on their feeds, their social medias, their newsletters. So it's going to build me up over time. It'll create the niche I'm desiring to do. When I launch my books, I'm going to do a physical launch at a bookstore. That all said, it's one of those situations where I'm looking at, like, okay, where do I go from there? I can go to bookstores. I want to get into like science fiction clubs. I want to get into the kind of people that read my stuff on a regular basis, and invest in them in terms of interaction.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a great point.
Right. You have to today. Today we live in a world today where even the New York Times bestsellers are interacting. You don't have to always talk about books. That's not what this is about. In fact, probably you should be enthused about your product, but there's a fine line between selling your product and kind of selling you as a person, right? I'm talking to Tim. Tim is awesome. He has a great podcast. He's got a wonderful sense of humor. I seem to make him laugh, right? Right? But right? Your job, a part of your appeal and part of my appeal, right? Part of my appeal when I do the podcast is people get a sense of who I am every time I listen to an episode. Does that make sense? Right?
Makes sense to me. Yeah.
Right. So I'm being real and I'm being authentic, and if I show that authenticity in everything I'm doing, people go, "He's not bullshitting me." And this is important. Don't underestimate it.
It is. I laugh, but it is important.
Yeah. You have to realize like there's a couple ways to go about this. And again, we by nature authors are introverts. But, I mean, so are all the other artistic performers, whether they're musicians, pro wrestlers, theater, anyone that has to go out in front of an audience. A lot of those people are very shy when they're not in front of an audience.
Yeah.
Right? They are.
True. I mean, and you know, it's even when even though I go on podcasts and I talk on my own show, of course, but I'm not that. You know, obviously, I'm not super outgoing, and that's one of the reasons I talk about some of this. When I go on my show, I have kind of limited range of things I actually talk about most of the time. That's why it's kind of refreshing to do a show like this, because it's very different from what I do. Because what I do is like I love to talk about writing. I love to talk about the nerdy subjects.
And you can hear too.
Fantasy and science fiction.
Yeah, and you can hear too. I don't forgo that, but I've also
absolutely. We didn't do that today so much, but it's still interesting, right? It's just an interesting change of pace.
Yeah,
you know? And it provides But what I'm trying to say is that it got me a little bit outside my comfort zone today. Honestly, you know,
Yeah.
talking a little bit about more real world stuff in some ways.
Well, yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, that's what works for me. I decided that I wasn't going to bullshit. I don't bullshit anybody. Now, some people think I'm an asshole. That's okay, right? I'm not here to make everybody. I'm not here to make everybody like me either. I'm here to do my thing. You're here to do your thing. Your job as a writer, creative person is to let people know you exist. You have a podcast that does that sort of deal. So one of the things you could do, for example, just as a fun thing you could do, because I'm doing this and I'm going to say September. Just Joshing is sponsored by The Cloud Diver, written by the amazing Joshua Penteloresco. And I'm going to have fun with my own commercial, because if I can't make fun of myself, I shouldn't be making fun of myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? That's who I am. That's part of who I am. Is also, I also make grown-ups read Dr. Seuss in front of an audience. I mean, that's who I am. I don't have that, I'm nervous, but I don't let that stop me. And you have to find where you're comfortable presenting you in a way that you can share with an audience.
Yeah. No, I mean, I hear you, and I need to find more ways to do that too.
I think that's it. Like, you're certainly like you definitely outproduced me, man. Nine. I haven't released one book yet this year, and you already got me. You're going to release more than I'm going to this year. I'm going to release 2, maybe 3. Right? Maybe 3.
Oh yeah. Don't.
No.
I'm definitely going to release more than that. I mean, I've already released 3, and I plan to do at least 5 or 6 more.
Yeah, exactly. You have the quantity nailed down. Right? What you need to do, and even on your own podcast, and I would suggest you use it as your vehicle to do this a little bit. I wouldn't say take up like 10 minutes of a show to do it, but maybe like for 2 minutes, just talk about what you're working on, why you're so excited to be working on it, and why it's so cool, and be gentle, because you are excited about it. You're working on this stuff, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Take that.
I mean, it's easier now. I mean, one reason I never did that in the past was I suffer from depression, and it was difficult for me to muster the enthusiasm to talk about my own work or work on it a lot of the time.
Yeah,
honestly.
Which is fair. But
with a little more energy, I can do it. I actually don't have that problem so much. Right.
Yeah. So I'm just bringing this all up.
Got some improvements.
Yeah. That's what I'm bringing up to you. Like, use what you already have to build yourself. Right?
Yeah.
And let people, like, I didn't think my podcast was good until like the middle of last year. I was just putting it out there, man. I mean, I put out 96 episodes a year, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of show.
Yeah, that's a lot of show. But at the same 95. I only do 1 episode during the week of Christmas. Like Christmas, New Year's, I just do 1. But the thing about that is, right? Yeah, I do have the quantity down, but it's a platform I've created too, so I get the opportunity to promote. And it's easier to promote other people. Don't get me wrong, but I'm also doing like sponsored by such and such, such and such, such and such. It's like you have a book coming out every 2 months, 3 months on average.
Well, yeah, it's on average. Hopefully, it'll be 1 a month. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, but you that's your goal, right? So here's what you could do, and this is what you should do. on your podcast at the beginning of your episodes, or right after you get through your general business of the day, do a giveaway with your books, like your new one, whatever your new one is.
Ooh, yeah.
See?
No, that's a good idea. I could totally do that.
Yeah,
I should do that. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, you should. Like, it doesn't cost you anything to know what you're already doing, right?
Yeah.
Right. You can wax about your book in a fun way. Right? And
No, I can do it. I mean, it's going to take some practice. I'll get better as I go, but hey, I can try that.
Yeah.
And what happens if I face plant a couple times? Nothing. I laugh it off.
Exactly.
It's easy once you get used to it.
Yeah, exactly. And then every month you talk about your newest book. Like, you give yourself like a time limit, like 2 minutes. Right? Don't go beyond that. But for 2 minutes, talking about how awesome your work is and why you're proud of your work is not a terrible thing, dude. You already are proud of your work, otherwise you wouldn't be releasing it.
Yeah, you got that right. And actually, I mean, the series I'm working on re-editing right now, I'm very happy about. And unfortunately, it's one of the ones that has gotten the least attention, even among my books.
Yeah, but
I'm working on it. It's going to get more attention. That's part of the plan.
Absolutely. So you do this. Now, this is going to take, again, this is not going to happen overnight. But you're also you get the opportunity to interact with your fans directly in a way that's natural.
Yeah. No, that's great. Yeah, that's a great point. And because it does what you were saying before, and you just repeated, they get to know who I am more. Exactly. And they also get to know what my work is at the same time.
And you get to present a side of yourself that you like. Again, authors have to look like I find this ironic that in particularly the science fiction field, the fiction of the future is caught in the past of how to do things. You can't, right? You can't be. It's a hell of an irony, but we live in a social media age, right? Yeah. We live in an age where people have instant access to you. All kinds of people have access to you, and you have. This goes back to the whole adapting to change. You have to adapt to it.
Yeah, no, I feel you. And it makes so much sense. And I got to start implementing more of this sort of stuff you're talking about. Definitely gonna do the giveaway stuff, at least for the ebooks.
Yeah, well, actually, can have you noticed the pictures on Instagram of all the books I've given away?
No, actually, I'm terrible at taking a look at Instagram.
Or how about or even it's on my Facebook and Twitter too. Have you seen like people posting?
Not really. I'm not.
Yeah.
Your Facebook's getting sheltered from me, I think.
Well, look at you should do yourself a favor. Look at my Facebook.
Sure.
Just do yourself a favor. Look at what I'm doing to promote my stuff. Like how I'm promoting the podcast. It's really cool. Because I'm not the only one posting anymore. The people that have won books are also posting.
Oh yeah. Okay.
You understand?
I see where you're going there.
Yeah,
you're building a community. Yeah, you got a community going on.
Correct. Remember something, right? And this, by the way, this works in writing too. It's like what I'm doing with the podcast. This will work with your writing as well, right? You're looking at building yourself long run. You have to writers have to be very conscious of the fact that yes, you have to work on your books, but if you're going to do it, even if you're doing the 20 books to 50K route, you have to be cognizant of the fact that people still may not know who you are. So you need to find the platforms where people will or that you have success interacting with people and you interact with them, because chances are that's your audience.
Well, that's excellent advice, and you're full of it today. I thought you were supposed to be interviewing me.
I know. I am interviewing you, but I'm also kind of being. I think I'm encouraging you today more than anything.
You sure are. I'm excited to try some of this stuff now.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask. I guess I'm going to ask my first question of the conversation. An hour and 20 minutes into the conversation. Oh, an hour into the conversation. Okay, just an hour. Here's the question. Because I've been talking about the changes I'm making. I'm talking about the transitions I'm going through. And so I'm very much, I acknowledge this. I do believe on some level, I do believe everything happens for a reason. Now, I don't always necessarily believe it's for a divine reason. Sometimes things happen because it's just shitty. I don't necessarily buy that it's all part of a plan, right? But I do believe things do happen for a reason on levels. I feel like, so I guess the question what I'm getting at is this: do you feel too comfortable and too familiar yourself with everything going on with what you're doing?
I don't know. I don't think so. Because
Okay.
I just recently did some adaptation of my own to improve my sleep mainly.
Mm-hmm.
I've been suffering from chronic fatigue, and I didn't realize it for years. And so I recently got a CPAP machine that I've been using, and it has really increased my energy. It's changed a lot of what I've been doing. Switched to dictation. I've been shaking things up. So I think I was getting too comfortable, but comfortable in a weird, I'm getting ready to step into my coffin kind of thing.
Yes.
Like that was no good, and I knew it was bad, so I had to get out of there. So I did, and I may be in the same location physically, but I'm doing a lot of different stuff now.
Changes can be like, they don't have to be going 1,000 kilometers in another direction, dude. They don't have to do
Absolutely, yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Do you feel happier?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I haven't had much of the, and I'm less anxious. The depression symptoms are a lot easier to deal with. So basically everything is a lot easier when you've got a good night's sleep. And I hadn't gotten one of those in maybe 6 months at least.
Oh, I had insomnia for like 3 months. At the end of that, I never took for granted sleep again. I love sleep. Maybe a little too much. A little too much sometimes. But.
I mean, it's a little awkward for me. I mean, I gotta have a mask on. I wear this big old mask. I look like Bane. But it's okay.
Do you talk
It's worth it.
Do you talk like Bane?
No, because I can't really talk when I got the mask on.
Nor could he. That was part of the fun.
They've dubbed my voice in after the fact.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's where I'm getting at with you. Is like you had so just to have some fun with yourself, you because I am Bane. Well, anyways, my inner.
No one cared who I was until I put on this mask.
That's right. Exactly.
It's fun. It was fun just seeing how wow, this is gonna be interesting. There's a big tube and a mask. Yeah.
Sleep apnea, if you don't mind my asking.
Sleep apnea.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Mostly, I'm just too big of a dude. I'm just too big.
Nah.
It's quite mild sleep apnea, but apparently, and actually, it kind of goes to the fiction a little bit because it was one of those things. It was weird because I've had night terrors my entire life too. And so I may have had this since I was little, honestly, because it turns out when I'm dreaming, when I'm in REM sleep, I have like 3 times as many sleep apneas as I do when I'm not.
That's interesting.
And that means I frequently am waking up terrified because I probably stopped breathing during the dream. It's like, this is no good.
No. Lack of oxygen to the brain is bad. Very bad.
Yeah, definitely. Got to keep that oxygen flowing.
Yeah. But
so I didn't realize how much it affected my entire life though until just recently.
It's amazing how big the little things are, and that's me being very honest. It's just amazing how big the little things are.
Sleep apnea lasts. An official sleep apnea lasts about 10 to 20 seconds, and that's by the diagnostic, and that's the time when you stop breathing.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact is, that's tiny. That's not that much time. You just miss a breath, basically.
Yeah.
But it changes everything if it happens too much.
Well, it's...
They add up.
Well, no, that's just it. It catches you, and not when you expect it to either, right? And then you're like, oh my god, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, it's for want of a nail. It's the
yeah.
I thought I could do it, but I mean, and that's one of the reasons I've been running into a brick wall as a writer for the last ever so much time, because I didn't realize I was not getting the right amount of rest. And I mean, back in college, I wrote way faster than I've been writing lately, and now I'm like, wow, how could I have ever done that? It feels impossible. Well, maybe it was impossible while I didn't get enough sleep, or because I'm getting the right kind of sleep.
Well,
because I mean, I don't mean impossible. I mean, like, it just the difficulty level ratchets way up.
Oh, absolutely. It totally does. It's how do I it's again, they're tiny things. Like and I realize as I've gotten older / wiser, that it's more about it's little things. It's not big things that really matter in this life, right? Would I love to drive a Lamborghini once? Sure. I mean, I think that'd be kind of just a fun little, like, just an experience.
Change of pace thing.
It's
a stunt almost.
That'd be great as a stunt. But honestly, give me my hot water. Give me my toilet paper. Give me the ability to sleep. Give me electricity. Like the simple stuff, the really simple stuff in this life, is the stuff that really matters, and everything else. Right? Everything else really doesn't. You know?
The driving the fancy car, that's just something, as long as you can get where you need to go. Does that really matter what kind of car you used to get there?
Hey,
Probably not.
Listen, I'm going to have a spectacular clunker one day. It'll be like spectacular. You will hear it coming for miles. They will look at it. Like, people will jump out of the way in sheer terror. Like, just sheer terror.
Oh boy, it'll be like that Johnny Cash song, except worse.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, and then every time I park the car, it'll be almost like, how did you not die? And my answer would be the same. I have no idea. Yeah.
Yeah, the foot pedals. You hit the gas, and the pedal goes through the floor, like literally through the floor.
Yeah, exactly. Every time, just every time.
It's just a hole in the floor for the pedal.
Yeah, exactly. Just totally. Like it's not even real pedal anymore. It's imaginary. I'm doing it Flintstone style.
Exactly, you're running on it. Yeah, anyway. This joke has gone on maybe a little too far.
Maybe.
Around with a car with stone treads for wheels. Or
hey, listen, man. I'd rock that shit. I would totally rock that shit.
I bet you would.
Yes. Again, I had no fear. And like I said, I'm not afraid to look. Listen, I say this. I'm not cool enough for Netflix yet. I'm not mature enough either. Or for club cards or any of that stuff. It's just one of those... it's one of those things, and like I said, man, I'm just at that point in my life where I'm comfortable in my own skin, and I just recognize though that I personally need to make some changes. And it sounds to me like you're there too, like you're comfortable in your own skin. It's not just the little adjustments.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, little things, like you said, though, they make all the difference. Those little changes.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not. We live in that. It's amazing how big a little thing really is. It really is.
And just like 1 hour talking to somebody can change everything. A podcast like this.
Yes, absolutely. So, did I change your life for the better?
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
We'll see if it's for the better or for the worse. I'm gonna take some of your advice. That's for sure.
Yeah. Let me know when you start doing giveaways, man. Just let me know personally.
Have to.
Yeah, alright. Just let me know when you start. Beyond all that, man, I think we have an interview. What do you think?
I think we got an interview.
Yes.
Thanks for having me on.
Yes. Well, no worries. So, what's out right now? Tell people about your podcast and where people can find you.
So what's out right now is I have 3 series. 4 series. Jeez. Yeah, 4 series. I have 10 Liars. Which is fantasy with guns. I got the Pillar Universe, which is sci-fi with airships and no planets in it. And I have, what's the third one? I have the free book. Oh yeah, the Rain Protocol series, which is post-apocalyptic dystopian future. And I have my fantasy series. The Court Mage is the first book. It's called Spells of the Curtain. That's the name of the series. Those are my main things I have out. I have some other books and short stories out there, but that's the main stuff. And my podcast currently is Alive After Reading. The name might have to get changed in a while, but you can find that at mentalcellularpublications.com. And on Alive After Reading, I talk to writers about all sorts of creative stuff. As much weird stuff as we got to today, but more of a little more focused, but definitely not not necessarily a better way, just a different way, you know?
Hey, listen, I have no problem chasing for the butterflies in the middle of my podcast, okay? They fly and they shine. Leave me alone! Anyway, it's all good. And how can people find you? How can people find you?
Oh, yeah, you can find me at mentalcellularpublications.com. You can check out my books on... You can find ARCs and stuff on BookFunnel. If you search for the names of my books, the Stormfleet is the one that's currently up on BookFunnel. It's the first Pillar Universe book. And you can also find me on Facebook. I've got Facebook page, Tim Niederriter is the... Yeah.
All right.
And that was my conversation with Tim Niederriter. Tim's latest book is Demon Scroll, Book 1 of the Demon Hunter Cycle. Check out Tim's Amazon page. He has that and a bunch of other books available. Tim is a very talented dude and honestly great podcaster in his own right. Check out his shows as well. Tim, you're always great to have on the show. You're welcome back anytime you want. And that will do it for this episode of Just Joshing. We got 2 really awesome episodes coming up next week leading up to When Words Collide. Adam Dries is coming back. And I'm introducing a brand new guest, Kate Hartfeld, the week right afterwards. And I got some cool guests coming down the pike for all the way into episode 300. When Words Collide, I'm doing an interview thing Friday from 2 to 5 p.m. You can sign up for it. It's in the When Words Collide programming. Do that there. I'm doing a live podcast, which I gotta email some people actually tomorrow, which I'll do. I'm doing a live podcast Saturday. I'm doing a Dr. Suits off as well. Those will be episodes 299 and 300 respectively. So I hope you guys definitely check those out. But yeah, lots of cool things happening. Getting ready to leave for BC as well. I'm just getting started with the packing and the job hunting as far as that goes. Yeah, I'm looking for something else while I'm also waiting for the transfer to go through. Either way, it's going to be a blast. This next little couple months, it's going to be a crazy ride, and I'm looking forward to it. And that will do it for this episode of Just Joshing. So if you want to support the podcast, you can do some number of different ways. You can visit my sponsors, Jennifer Ron, Indie Imprint. IndieImprint.com is definitely a place to go if you are an independent author or creator and want to have your stuff worked on, developed, edited, and presented to an audience. Jennifer Ron's Wicked Initiations is being relaunched, but she's also got Dark Corridor released at Bundarin Press. Jennifer is an amazingly talented person. Definitely check her work out. Now, you don't want to support the sponsors, you want to support me. I am on Spotify, Google Play, iTunes. You can definitely listen to my podcast there. You can also, on Podomatic, you can hit the subscribe button. You can share the podcast. A variety of people. My YouTube channel is Joshua Pantellaresco. My Instagram and Twitter is at jpantellaresco. My Facebook page is Joshua Pantellaresco, author, podcaster. And see, am I missing anything? And my books, The Watcher Stone, Answer, Wandering God, Kirsty and MirrorWorldPublishing.com, Amazon, Kobo, wherever books are sold. You can get my books there. Leave a review, share the word. All right, guys, stay inspired out there. Do your thing. I will see you guys next time.
Josh.